Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of Danny and Mike, wherein the fellas discuss glasses, gators, and an Ohio pickup truck. Now play the music, Chun-Li.
It's weird if we were to leave her out here, she would scratch the door enough to be like, hey,
man, like everybody's partying.
Yeah.
I don't get in on the party.
So we made her an intern.
That's right. Little Moppy.
We only have to pay her in dog treats.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
And college credit still, though.
She definitely gets college credit.
Right.
Yeah, for being the good girl pup academy.
She got a scholarship.
It's the only.
She got a
one of its
scholarship
kind.
to the Puppy Bowl. She's been a constant performer.
Oh, she's been she's been donating to the Puppy Bowl. She's a philanthropist as well.
Donating
wow.
what?
She's like the Sacklers of the puppy family.
Yeah, exactly. Only rich kids can afford internships.
She created the problem and she fixed the problem. That's what capitalism's all about, man.
Yeah,
Don't blame my husband, the dog, for a problem he did not create.
All right, let's get this podcast started. Welcome to the Adventures of Danny and Mike. To my right, Mr. Danny Tamborelli.
Hello there.
And to his right, Mr. Michael C. Morona.
Here I am.
And our guest for the entire, Mr. Mike Drucker.
Hello, this is me.
Thank you so much for hanging out.
Hi.
You may
I
know.
just want the audience to know my sound.
For the listener, I'm looking at Mike, and he looks like Beacon's Closet. He looks like the logo for Beacon's Closet.
Hey, that's good residuals right there, man.
I'll take it.
That's not bad. You've never heard that before in your life?
I've never heard that.
Really?
No.
That's crazy.
But I'll take it.
But maybe it's you with the headphones on.
It might be me with the headphones on. And these are also like new glasses, so I'm trying colored glasses now.
Okay. That's
I
a
like
thing.
the colored glasses. I think we didn't totally match with with the lights above, but we're on par. We're feeling we got the same vibes going on.
Thanks for taking that advice of sort of trying something unconventional.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. Like I've there's no point to really talking about this, but I've always had just one pair of glasses, and I've realized I make enough money to have like different pairs of glasses that I can mix styles with.
This is
at like 35.
You hit a spot. You're like, okay, well, mine is two. I can definitely get like 4 more pair of glasses.
Are these Friday glasses or Passover glasses?
These are just trying out different pairs and seeing what I like glasses. Because I only got them like a couple days ago.
They go with my shirt.
They do go with your shirt. You'd match really well. Like you'd look good on a beach with this.
I smell a picture.
They don't look like. Your face doesn't look like this is a new thing. I feel like you did a good job with the glasses.
Thank you.
They fit quite nicely.
Yeah, we're not used to glasses. All of us having.
I've never been to an eye doctor ever.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah,
I believe you. If you said it.
You know what
no,
he,
it's
you know
true.
what he does?
I know it's not a good idea. My wife's yelling at me.
Whenever he
all the time
wants an
about it
exam,
now.
he goes to the DMV. He's just like, I got to renew.
No, and I cheat. I go like this when I put my one eye over, so I can read both of it.
Who are you cheating?
Myself. I'm cheating myself.
Wait, it's like fighting wearing weighted clothing.
There's also, in my mind, I would have thought, I don't know why, but I feel like child actors were treated like racehorses, where I'm like, you had to have had like.
Oh, he got injections. Yeah, he got injections.
It's like I don't know how this business works at all.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right. They're like, hey, you know what? Next episode, you're going to be doing a lot of running, so bend over.
Yeah, he got the jab.
I get the vitamin B shot, and then I'm like jazzed up, and they're like, he's good. Shoot.
I had to wear an appliance at night that stopped me from blinking at night. So eventually my eyelid muscles atrophied. And senior year of high school, once I had to reintegrate into the normal world, it was a lot of fucking work.
Right. I read about that in Mara Wilson's book.
Yeah, learning to blink. It's called learning. It's a chapter on me. It's called Learning to Blink Again.
Oh my gosh. It's bad when you atrophy something. It ain't coming back.
You never want to hear that.
Oh,
ain't never coming back. I have got a muscle in my foot that I think is atrophied because I broke my ankle and I never really like rehabbed it 100%.
Oh wow!
So like once in a while, from doing too much, I feel something not right.
Will you just like fall down, or does it?
It cramps up. Nah, it's just a cramp up. But then it looks like I like. Sometimes if you're walking around Brooklyn, New York, you might see me hobbling.
doing the funky chicken.
Yeah.
If it's the day before rain, like today, it's bothering me a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're an effective weather predictor?
I mean, it's definitely sensitive to barometric pressure.
Right.
So,
You're
yes.
like an old woman in a Steinbeck novel. It's just like
In more ways than one.
Oh, yeah. Always refuses to breastfeed me, though. What a sack of crap. Do you have any nagging injuries right now, Mike?
not nagging necessarily, but when I had my wisdom teeth out like 15 years ago, there was a small fuck up, so the corners of my mouth are slightly numb. Which
Still?
is just like a thing where sometimes like
That could wear off any
I'll like
time.
yeah, but like I'll suddenly drool or something just because I'm not paying attention.
Oh, the
because I
corner-
can't really
oh,
feel
the
it, like, right
corners
here.
of your
yeah,
mouth.
yeah, like,
I got you.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't hurt or anything, but it's just one of those things where unless you're paying attention, you'll just like slowly have water come out of the side of your mouth. It's really
This is
gross.
comedy gold.
This
dude.
is great.
This is comedy gold.
yeah.
pitching ideas in the writer's
Right.
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you ready for lunch? No, I just have a thing. Sorry.
I was thinking about tacos.
For those of you who don't recognize your voice, Mike's a writer for things like
Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. I wrote for The Tonight Show. I've written for Adam Ruins Everything.
Love that show.
I've written stuff for Weekend Update, The Onion. I used to write for Nintendo of America.
oh,
Yeah.
The company.
The company Nintendo. Yeah.
Did they need like a quick touch up on Mario? They need a backstory on Mario.
You wouldn't be surprised.
We don't,
I was a localization writer. I worked with a translator to make stuff make sense in English.
from Japanese.
From
Gotcha.
Japanese.
Sure.
Yeah. So
okay.
it was super fun. It's also a great company.
That's important.
Yeah.
I feel like the best companies, with the exception of Coca-Cola, obviously a
right.
shit company, but all the best companies have been around since the 19th century.
My dad works for Yamaha, a wonderful company that's been around for a long time.
Is the music company the same
They
as
do
the
everything.
jet ski company?
They do everything.
I never knew.
And they have all their symbols are differentiated by like what's in the trio. So like all
wow.
the musical Yamaha stuff has 3 tuning forks.
I did not know this.
All of the like motor stuff has 3 pistons.
Oh, that's really cool.
Just no big deal.
the sex
Just
toy
an
range has 3
I'm just an
dildos.
insider. I'm just an insider and sell.
Yamaha sex toy range. You work
the
for
young
those-
toy. Yeah.
the three,
Yes,
dil-
it's
the
just
3
3
dildos.
dildos.
Yeah.
Correct.
But the last range actually got 5 dildos on the rating scale. So to put it together and summon
Well, when
a
you've
level
been
8 dildo monster.
when you've been a successful company for well over 100 years, everyone needs a good.
Yeah.
Is this
Dildo
SpawnCon?
department.
Are we doing SpawnCon now? Is this sponsor content?
we're just everything that we've all mentioned. We're getting $30 when we leave this podcast.
Oh, great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just $30 from Big Dildo.
Yeah, from Big Dildo, from the glasses company.
They
what
lobby
else?
this podcast very hard, Big
Glasses
Dildo.
company. I was thinking like, okay, I'm a guy on the internet, so
Right.
I get certain ads targeted to me, and like, let's say 30% of them are underwear and 40% of them are glasses. So I was thinking, what if Amazon buys both? They own Warby Parker and the underwear company, and what if they?
MeUndies?
I don't know, Mac Weldon or whatever.
Yeah.
And what if they unify those products to be like glasses that can see inside people's pants if they're wearing the right underwear that's also sold by them?
Wow.
very
And you
specific.
can turn that into a dating app as well. Based on you can put
In Japan-
whatever undies you
Japan,
want.
they used to have, you know what I'm talking about, right? They used to have these like love rings, and then if you were in proximity with somebody else who was single, the love rings would start to vibrate.
Is that real?
Yeah, it was like a thing, but it was like a novelty,
A fad.
Thing.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was,
fad.
it was like slap bracelets. It
Not-
wasn't like the government has installed
The
this new law.
90s.
Right.
Yeah.
You will meet and you will fall in love.
Not Logan's Run.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's on par with the glasses from the Boys Life magazine in the back, right? The X-ray
Oh, yeah.
glasses.
I
That was a
love those
very-
ads.
I always wanted those, and I wanted for obvious reasons. And then I wanted the hovercraft.
Yeah,
I
everybody
own
wanted the
vacuum.
hovercraft
Yeah.
out of vacuums. How could you do that?
Right. It was, yeah.
It's a whole Pete episode about you thinking you got a jetpack.
Well, that's true.
It was
Yeah.
a jet. You thought it was a jetpack.
I thought I was getting a jetpack, but instead I got a leaf blower.
It's really the same thing.
Yeah, you know what? You can get your money back with
you
a
could
leaf
reverse
blower.
engineer. You could reverse engineer some of that stuff.
$20 a pop, going door to door. You pay off that leaf blower real quick,
and
I
then
don't
you
know
make
about
enough
the
money for a
rocket.
real jet ski.
Then you get the real
jetpack.
rocket. Yeah.
I actually have the leaf blower in there. Maybe we try it out after the show. I don't. Maybe we could make a.
I'm really not trying to make my 12-year-old dreams come true at 37 years old.
What are we doing here?
I had some pretty screwed up fantasies back then.
Those sumo suits that people fight in, are those like?
Yeah.
Those are powered by a little fan inside, right? That keeps them
Yeah, I
pumped
think
up.
so. It's like those T-Rex costumes that people put on.
That are also puffy. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
This kind of stuff. So
Why is that always funny?
I don't know.
No matter
It's because
what
they're so
video
floppy.
gets posted,
It's because they're so floppy.
whatever someone's doing in that suit
Yeah.
is funny. Always.
It's true.
There is one Christmas where I bought that for my brother, and I was like, he'll love this. It's perfect. And he opened it and was so not disappointed but confused. Where literally was like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, you
Did
can
you-
return it.
did
He's
you
like,
s-
no.
But you saw the description. It said it was a suit, right?
It was a suit. Yeah.
And he still didn't know what
He
to
didn't
do
get
with it.
He didn't get it.
You,
Like to
you
him-
put it that you put it on.
Yeah.
Did you have to? Did you put it?
I put it. I put it on.
You said, "Here, let me show you what to do with your present."
And then he took a video of it and put it on the internet.
Yeah. And now we're famous.
That's it. There was a slip and slide involved.
As far as you know, he still has it.
He still has it. I don't think he'll ever wear it.
We did a.
He's missing out.
I would hang it. I would hang it in the closet, so people know.
scare
Yeah.
yourself.
Bring
at
it to
night.
weddings.
I used to have
Scare yourself.
I used to have quite an extensive closet, like of weird clothes.
HVAC specific clothes.
HVAC specific.
Yeah, isn't that what this is? Where you throw a fan in the.
I'm installing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
for him. Yeah, I had jumpsuits of all kinds and coveralls and this and that. But I had like old weird clothes, and then I got rid of most of them. When I
that's
moved
great.
when I moved out, so that sucks. Can't impersonate somebody anymore.
I worked on a TV show called Elementary for a long time, and we had
Never heard of it.
Yeah, you have because
Are you name dropping because you're like I'm in the entertainment business too?
Oh, by the way, no, I'm just saying because one time we had to get these huge hazmat things, but they had these built in. They're $1,000 each, and they were a huge pack you wore, and it kept the whole thing air conditioned. But it was a very expensive way of doing it, man. And you look like a, post-apocalyptic.
It doesn't matter. Were you
Survivor.
sweating your balls off?
No, it was air. It was
then it
cooled.
was-
That's what I'm saying.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
We should get those for the studio.
I could have got him.
It would just take 4,000 for right here, right?
Renee Russo said that she needed one for Outbreak, or she wouldn't do the movie.
Speaking of Outbreak, can you break out some pomegranate polar seltzer for me from the fridge? Mr. Sponsored Content.
Yeah, we'll stop the podcast to get you seltzers wrong.
Yeah, and what seltzer is that again?
It's Polar's brand.
Are you familiar with Polar
I am.
seltzer?
Is this,
Where are you from, Mike?
I'm from Florida. I'm from South Florida.
Okay, they don't have good water there. let's just move right on. They don't have the good polar bear that we
No,
talk
we don't
about
have polar
from,
water.
from Worcester.
We have swamp water.
What?
That could be a good selling point,
Yeah.
though.
Swamp water?
Yeah, we were recently in Florida, and
Yeah.
everything was gator. Everything.
Everything.
I
is
ate
very
gator.
I was
gator
terrified
once.
of them as a kid
Of like getting
That's
eaten by one.
natural.
Well, yeah,
because as a kid they're like, hey man, they teach you as a kid how to run away from gators in South Florida. You have to zigzag.
Zigzag,
Serpentine,
right? That's
right?
what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
serpentine.
Yeah.
Got to.
But it
because
scares you.
otherwise
glad my
they go
son
too
already
fast
knows.
straight ahead.
Yeah, they go very fast straight, but if you turn, they're slow to turn. So
That's
They're so
for
cute
the,
when
for
they
the
turn,
listener.
too.
You're welcome.
yeah, you're welcome.
Mike
But
just-
as a kid, it's
Yeah.
terrifying because as a kid when you're given a warning, it's not like, oh, in this rare instance this happens.
No.
You're
They're
like, oh, this will happen.
happens. Right.
Yeah.
The
And you see
gators are a
people-
fact of life, son.
Yeah.
And there's
You're going to
always
find
news
yourself in
on
a
there.
foot race with death one day, so I need you to serpentine for me.
And there's enough news stories that happen, not all the time, but enough as a
Yeah.
kid
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're like, oh, like this gator killed a woman. This gator killed this kid.
God.
Dogs.
They're-
The
Gator-
dog.
Yeah, a gator killed a kid at Disney World a few years ago.
Yes.
Yes. That's
You're doing a great commercial for Florida. Right?
Florida, you will die.
We were
Also,
in Lake County, so we knew
yeah.
we sat on a lake. Actually, Danny and I sat on a lake, and I commented that it was the color of
it was the
Coca-Cola.
color. It was the color of Dr Pepper.
It
More
was seriously the
specifically.
color of Dr.
It was-
Pepper.
Beautiful place.
It was it was definitely
Muppet to soda.
beautiful from afar, and then
Yeah.
we got up close and we're like, what the?
That's Florida.
Could
That's
really-
Florida and its citizens.
Wow.
It's from up here. It looks great.
Beautiful.
Beautiful country.
Right.
Sea level though.
We had a good time in Florida. Florida treated us well. And
Absolutely.
I had to live in Orlando for a few years.
Of course,
so
yeah.
I am well versed in Central Florida.
you were
South Florida.
sentenced to Florida, but you're from South Florida,
I'm from
which
South Florida.
sounds slightly more because Jeremy's obsessed with key lime pie. I
That's
Yeah.
my favorite dessert. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best. I don't know if you.
For me, it's
Yeah,
key,
no, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like
have
lemon meringue, but I'm a key lime pie
Key lime pie is great.
aholic.
Yeah. I mean,
But I'm functioning. I'm
Drucker's like,
recovering.
you know how many times people talk to me about key lime pie when I say South Florida?
He's like, yeah, let me
what are you
move
gonna
on.
bring up next, Jimmy Buffett?
Wait, does that happen? Was he?
Jimmy Buffett, key lime pie. I mean,
I'm saying, was he part of that hurricane that came through? Was that Andrew?
Andrew was a big one, yeah.
Andrew was the big one, yeah.
There's been a lot
few
down there.
since
Yes.
then, yeah. But
Yeah.
Andrew was the one when I was a kid. That was like you were hiding in a closet.
See, that's the one. When I was a kid, it was Gloria. So
Yeah.
that's the one that was etched into my fear matrix.
I think my aunt and uncle still live there, and they have a overhead like satellite shot of Andrew.
Yeah.
and it's insane. I'll put it up on the Danny and Mike website for
look at
this
that.
episode.
We always promise
Thanks
to
for
remember.
context and content for you listeners.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of meeting Uncle Don, if that's who you're
that
that's who
is.
you're talking
That's who I'm
about.
talking about, yeah.
And he plays a mean game of pool, Jeremy's uncle, and his aunt is really, really sweet.
We got some good family time on the Florida leg of the tour. Absolutely.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We were in Gainesville, and we were in Gainesville before I finally realized I had a paralyzing fear of Spanish moss, and that's why I was so uncomfortable.
Well, everybody's heard the stories of, Ford.
The great
Ford
fire of
putting that as their,
Jacksonville,
like, hey,
and the great fire of Gainesville,
No,
and the great.
fire for sure, but also Spanish moss like destroyed, skin of human beings.
Yeah, if it ever starts chasing you, run sideways.
Because they thought it was a good idea to stuff
Stuff
Spanish
mattresses
moss
with it.
in cars, and then all of a sudden, like little bugs came out. And just,
I didn't know that.
alive,
That's wild.
Yeah, that was like early 20th century auto manufacturer recall.
Well, sure, like mass production was happening, but
Yeah.
we didn't really have modern chemistry where you
We're not
could.
sure. What is this? The Spanish moss is everywhere.
fine.
Just stick them in the seats.
Yeah.
World War I was all about trying to find synthetic this and synthetic that, and Germany was racing ahead of it. Germany's chemical industry was like on top since the late 19th century when the Yamaha company started.
Oh boy,
Okie dokie. Let's
Is Yamaha
German.
is now.
They had,
It's weird, right?
it doesn't seem like it.
yeah, but
I
the
will
German
leave
the
you.
German division of the company has 3 bratwursts.
Yeah, like
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
The Illuminati. Thank
Yeah,
you, Jeremy.
yeah.
You've discovered it.
Did I ever tell you that my dad? So we had an old '78 Chevy car of some sort. He
Oh,
was
I thought you
coming
were going
home
to say
from work.
record player.
No, coming home from work. It was one of those old with the seats. It felt like it was hay in it or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So it was like an old something. I don't fucking know what it is.
Edsel.
But anyway, smoking on the way home, probably drinking on the way home because Ohio. And he gets about halfway there and he's like, "What in the hell's going
That
on?"
smell.
He flicked a cigarette out and went right in the back seat and burned the entire seat. And so he just like looked back and
So now
the
it was a
seat
truck.
was on fire.
So
Yeah.
now it was a truck instead of
There
a,
you go.
It was just a pickup. That's an Ohio pickup truck when you flick the
Ohio pickup.
so when you flick the cigarette out the window and it burns out the back
You
seat.
actually paid $10 less on when you renew your
on registration. Yeah.
They go
Your
and they
tags-
check the back seat.
your
They're
tags
like,
get
"Oh yeah,
cheaper.
it's burned up. Okay, $10
Okay,
off."
$10 off.
Yep.
What's the
10
Florida analog for that? Because we were in some very like urban, cityfied,
Yeah.
cosmopolitan areas of, and then we also like had-
Pompano Beach was as far south as
yeah,
Okay.
we
Yeah, that's not super far from where I grew up.
but we didn't really like we drove through a lot of the middle of places to get to the other cities. So
That's what Florida is. It's places you drive through. The equivalent, like, I mean, I feel like you get a lot of like ride-on mower stories where someone just goes into traffic on a ride-on mower.
Yes.
There's less like car fires. It's usually I don't know. It's more like ride-on mower things or a horse, like things that.
oh,
aren't
having
cars.
sex with a horse.
Having sex with a horse, or just
On
riding a horse in
standing
traffic.
on a ride-in mower. That's bestiality because you're not
chased.
tall enough.
Yeah.
Big alligator.
Oh,
You just-
a slow
you
speed
put-
car chase.
You put the lawnmower in neutral
And
and
you
just,
serpentine.
let the horse do the work.
Yeah. It's a good time.
God, this sounds like
Terrible.
Prom.
How did we get this far?
I don't know.
we're in the
As a society?
Everglades. We're sinking in the Everglades
Oh, God.
right now.
I'm so terrified of the Everglades.
How about the
Why wouldn't you be? You've
I-
been taught since you were a young person.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
evade-
scared of alligators.
to
There's a
evade
place where
alligators.
there's tons of alligators.
And then we decided to import Burmese pythons.
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah,
is
that
the
was-
Big-ass
that is
snakes.
the scariest part of the Everglades.
And crocodiles are starting to move in to that area. And crocodiles
From Africa?
just people's pets, like people's pets, and crocodiles are much worse than alligators. Like
Yes.
alligators are skittish, but they're still aggressive. Crocodiles are just gonna
Apex.
fucking
They're
eat you.
apex
Yeah.
predators.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they will
And they know how to
wipe you
chase serpentiners.
Yeah.
So the old moves are not effective. The alligator move is not effective if you just
Sharper
zigzag.
teeth,
Yeah.
bigger jaw.
Yeah.
And the
There's-
teeth go up and down.
We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Crocodiles are.
What's next? Caimans? Gars?
Caimans would be the best. Caimans, I feel like, are like, hey guys, We're here too.
Yeah, and guess what? You're all done. It's Cayman country now.
You're gonna have to.
We'll see you later.
You're gonna have to import like sea snakes or something to deal with everything,
Right.
And then the sea snakes are gonna rule
Right.
the Everglades, and they're not even from here, man. And they constitute like a huge voting block.
Yeah.
This is how Fox News is going to sell it.
We need to
These
get 'em out.
invasive sea snakes.
I just want to go back to water moccasins. Can we just have
scary.
water moccasins?
So
Why
Sorry.
wouldn't you go back to water moccasins
'Cause-
or cottonmouths for that matter?
Those are
Aren't these just
I'm
like
not a-
this is
I'm-
why I've never
snakes-
traveled to Australia.
Snakes
No, I'm
drive
not
me
into
nuts.
snakes.
Yeah.
I think spiders are cool.
But-
I think snakes are awesome.
Yeah.
But I just don't want them in the house with me. Wait, that sounds like a city kid. No, spiders are awesome all the time. I don't care where they are. I
Right.
just don't. There's so many in Australia that can kill you.
Yeah.
And just go in the house when they're like, it's warm
cares?
outside. I
Yeah.
gotta come in here.
Nope, pass. I mean, like, I feel like with Florida, did you guys have palmetto bugs in Orlando?
I have been around.
No, we went to
I've been
we went to
around-
Cafe 22
No, we,
Tango.
no, we did not. No, we didn't.
You've heard of that place?
Yes.
Danny
that
had
was
it
an
built
old,
up in
that
his
was
head
an
on
old
this tour.
staple of mine back in the day.
Yeah.
Being a
Date-
14,
date
15-year-old kid, being
Date
like,
spot.
ooh, yeah, this place has got Southwest egg rolls. I like
Flavor.
it.
Flavor.
And that's all I would ever eat when I go there. And
Right.
they're like, do we have to keep coming here? I'm like, yeah,
Come on.
Southwest egg rolls.
Were they jalapeno egg rolls? or
I don't
something?
know. I was just something I was into. And they
Hatch
put us
chilies? I
up.
don't know.
They put us up at the Peabody Hotel, so I got to watch
The
ducks,
ducks.
and eat Cafe 22 Tango.
What is it about ducks that makes the whole internet stops for ducks?
I don't know. You know what? I think they're just I feel like comedy always cycles through what's a funny animal for a while.
Okay.
And I think we're in the duck phase because like it was bears for a little bit.
It was bears.
And then like monkeys. When I think we were kids, monkeys were funny, but monkeys I think have been downgraded.
Oh yeah.
I think there's just like a funny animal we all focus on at certain points.
And ducks are the one for
Ducks
us
are
right now.
ducks are of the Trump era.
The Central Park duck amazes me. I said people like.
oh yeah.
Actually, it kind of has the same color as your glasses.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was
There's like a nice little streak in there. No, I'm just saying.
The merganser or the other one?
Whatever the
Yeah.
one that everybody's going crazy
Oh
about.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that
actually
one.
the Central Park duck. At
Oh, you
midnight, I
are?
turn into the duck.
Oh, I understand.
This is really a treat.
I made a wish.
We get to ask you some questions at this point. Yeah. Doesn't the hawk make you scared? Doesn't living
We talked about it.
living 18 floors down from the hawk and just knowing that it's watching you from that building from Ghostbusters just
No, we're cool. We're all cool. Me and the hawk are cool. You know, we texted. We're fine.
okay, so we're not that scared of these things, but they present an obstacle like
What do you talk about?
like snakes and
Oh,
spiders
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm just gonna go to the Everglades. I think I would like to take one of them fan boat rides. Is that crazy?
No, I mean they're fun, and usually they're fun,
Unless
but you
it
want to like
stalls
shop
out.
around.
in the middle.
Are you fucking
of
kidding?
the swamp?
That can happen.
Now I'm not even taking a plane.
That
Thanks
can
a lot.
happen.
Yeah. Or what if
That can happen. Too much
bird-
water in the intake,
Look.
sir. I'm sorry. We'll have to wait for it to dry out.
You know,
in the
a-
meantime, I'll just make these bird calls.
You're going along, a bird of prey flies overhead
Love birds
with
of prey.
another. It got like a big, possum
A
or
catch,
something,
right? And then
Right.
it drops
and
it.
then it drops it,
Plop,
and it
right
just
next to you.
right in the center of where the fan's at.
Yeah.
And the bones get lodged in, and
Oh, God.
it stalls out.
You're just chumming
and
yourself.
then you're just stuck there, and the only way you can
Right.
get back out of the swamp is to paddle with your hands.
and you're covered with possum guts.
Yeah,
I would-
So that all of the crocodiles are the newly
Yeah.
arrived crocodiles, which are, as we
Between-
know, are a formidable voting bloc.
And this happens at like 11:30 a.m. So you have from 12 to 4.
Yeah,
of
they're
the-
very warm.
of
They're
the,
in their
the burning
worst.
sun.
they're in their heating cycle.
Yeah.
they
What
get
do
very
you
active.
do? Do you paddle with your hands, or do you just say, "That's it, I'm dead"?
I would probably. I mean, am I with a group of people?
No,
or-
yeah, sure. You have one other person.
Is Curly resourceful? Is my question.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's somebody who's not very resourceful.
I might try to see if I can like reach for a branch or something. Although that'll turn out to be an alligator.
Right,
too.
or it could be a snake, or
be
a
a
snake
snake.
yeah,
dangling.
exactly.
Yeah,
But I like.
I don't know, man.
I like your spirit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably die. I would die any scenario you throw at me.
But
I'm
he
gonna
went.
die.
He died actively though. He didn't wait for it to come.
No,
is the point.
yeah. Oh no. If I think if I was there like 15 minutes and had a gun, I would have killed myself, and then they would have rescued me 5 minutes later.
Oh gosh.
The gun is still warm.
Maybe he shot someone else and missed.
He has a phone. It had signal. Why did he?
Oh,
Do you
Lord.
think about that though, living here? I mean,
What?
just like
Everglades?
that? Yeah, no, yes, yeah, no, the shit falling from the sky. No, like the
Scorpions?
apocalypse or the another bad hurricane, or like you think you would be one of the early ones
To die?
To die?
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's so many people.
I have a master's in English literature. There's nothing I have.
I'm gonna
nothing
eat
I
you.
have
I'm
that's
gonna
gonna-
eat you.
yeah.
That's what. Where do you live? Where do you
Talk
live?
about this
I live.
zombie
I live
movie.
on Central. I live on the Upper West Side, near Central Park.
There we go. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right by the hawk
Oh, yeah,
and the
the
duck.
hawk
And the
and
duck. I live on. He's committed to the bit. Let's give him that.
The
No,
Drucker left behind like the greatest
A lot
like
of
rant
down.
ever right before you go.
Yeah.
Just explaining the whole thing, how we could have fixed it,
Right. Yeah.
but nobody's gonna listen to me.
Yeah.
And now the zombies are coming.
Because I'm a duck.
'Cause I'm a
Should have stayed away from that duck.
I should have.
I thought I would take a positive step in that scenario, and I started constructing a bug out bag.
Oh wow.
Which is
great.
It's not.
What do you got in there?
I don't like that.
Candles?
idea.
I do
You're-
have some-
you're- that's like you're really just jumping
Well, I mean,
into
there's
being like,
stuff.
Do you
it's
have
gonna
a
happen.
Wait, do you have a 4-pack of Danny and Mike beer?
No, but there is that food right there, which is behind the beer.
Is it
That
like army food or
space
something?
Yeah,
Space food.
That's in
sure.
there.
Space
Food?
army food.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, that's cool.
We could try it out. if you'd like,
Rehydrated
but yeah,
food
it's
or dehydrated food.
the problem is the backpack is so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I would never get anywhere, so I would be right.
You know,
I'd
you
probably
don't,
be like right behind
you know, you don't have to bring a soda stream with you.
Well,
right?
I mean, but I love seltzer.
worth
You
it.
don't have to.
It's seltzer, Mike.
It's worth it.
I know, but if you jettison some of that's like when they're walking in Spaceballs and the Joan Rivers robot is like, and she's
Yeah.
grinding and
Because she's bringing all of her beloved. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
This is not that, but it's just full of. It's heavy. Again, I could pull that out for the photo afterwards, but
you also don't have to bring Muzzle's dog bed, Muppet's dog bed.
that
in
dog
there.
is not called Muzzle.
It's called Muppet.
That dog will
Muzzle.
never be called Muzzle.
Muppet's
It's
Muzzle.
a terrible
Muppet's
name
Muppet's
for it.
Muzzle or Muppet's dog bed.
Yeah.
Muzzle is the name that you tell someone that your dog is if you don't want them to touch your dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's immediately like, what's your dog's name? Muzzle. All right, bye.
Oh, sorry.
I'm out.
Good.
We can't date.
Sorry. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. That dog's name Muzzle. Out.
Out. Get out.
Get out.
I don't know.
Shitty dog names. I'm sure there's.
P Spot.
Yeah, I
You
guess
name your dog.
that's just odd though. That's not. That's less than like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muppet's good. Muppet's a
Yeah.
solid
Muppets
name.
say.
I mean, I feel like Muppet kind of looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, there's a Muppet-like quality.
There's something to that name.
Yeah, we're talking about.
I feel like she knows she's being talked about, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
how or why.
Yeah.
she knows her name. Muppet. Let's see.
It's like, what is it?
Yeah. Seriously, yeah, I understand.
We're
but
gonna
I
watch
hate
the
it when people just say my name all the time.
Right.
We're
and
gonna
then
watch
don't say
the You
anything
show
else.
later, Danny.
What's that?
We're gonna watch the You show later, Danny.
The You show later.
Danny. I was talking to Muppet.
Oh. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
You're really ramming it home.
Danny. Danny.
It's what you say to Jeremy all the time.
Danny.
Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, I used to drive Jeremy crazy in the car, and I probably still do.
Used to? I don't know.
Not as bad,
The
but
song
yes,
Jeremy by Pearl Jam?
Jeremy.
No, I just keep saying his name.
You know what? I've never made that connection before.
Did you? You
You
must
can
have had
get
that
out.
for years,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like as a
the,
kid.
the minute it came out,
And then
it was-
Columbine happened, and you're like,
I was like,
oh boy.
slowly backing out of the room. You know what I mean? No,
What did
but
you dress
You started
like back
calling
then?
him Michael Moore after that.
just like everyone in Pearl Jam. That's how I looked.
You really dressed like that?
Oh yeah,
And did you have long hair? I can't.
I
Think
did
of
have
you
long. I have a
can't-
picture with long hair.
I would like to see a picture of you
Okay.
with long hair because I've never. Like I imagine that you got to like the Beatles and that was it.
No, I got Kurt
cut
Cobain.
Oh, really?
I got to Kurt Cobain.
Was
yes.
it like that style too?
It was that style. It was parted.
You
yeah,
had
it
your
was-
glasses actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I
So
was
later, Kurt.
You were Beck.
I wasn't cool enough to be
Is that
back.
the new Beck?
I don't know.
Is
It just
that
seems
that-
Beck
is-
like to have.
Is that the new Beck song?
That's a yeah.
Came out today, and it's not very good.
Another
Wait,
one?
there's a new
Two.
Beck song that came out today.
Another
I didn't even
one?
know that.
Beck song that came out today, or I found it today, but
Oh man.
it's new.
You
Yes.
discovered it.
Yeah.
I discovered it, not weekly though.
Yeah.
We had a running joke that every time you hear something that's a little sort of left of center musically, and we just all go, "Is that the new Beck?" And it works quite well.
It does
yeah.
work pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh boy.
It's a real icebreaker.
Yes, absolutely. So you've written for a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Is there something in there in that collection of things that you've done that you would tell your grandmother about that you're well, I guess that's a weird
Yeah.
weird thing to do, but like tell me about your favorite sort of.
My favorite, that's hard to say. And it's not even like picking a favorite child thing. It's because I forget so much.
Oh, same.
Like I move quickly through things. I wrote like a couple small comics for Marvel that I really liked, and I feel like that's something that's kind of nice to hold on to your whole life.
Oh,
and
cool.
that hopefully won't go. You know what I mean? Like it won't be something where you find out in 10 years Marvel is racist and it's like over.
Right.
So that's felt really good.
Oh, that's too late.
It's too late.
They
Yeah,
are
let me-
racist. No, they are racist.
Don't look too close up there. There's Ryan Adams albums, so just saying, put it out there.
It's too late.
I
But
think-
what were the comics? If you don't
I
mind,
wrote
me,
a small Deadpool comic and I wrote a small Spider-Man comic.
cool.
So, and both like I found like later on found them like translated in other languages and I bought them. So that to me was really cool to have something you did translate it.
Very nice.
So that was really fun.
And you worked on the localization with the Japanese guy.
On Nintendo stuff. I really like working at Nintendo too. You know, a lot of what I do is late night comedy, which is very topical. So at times, you know, that's hard to hold on to because
You're forced to forget it.
you're forced to forget it. And even 6 months later, it's sort of like, okay, well, that's not as funny anymore
Right.
because we're not in that moment. But yeah, I've been lucky to do a lot of things. I think the Nintendo stuff and the comic stuff are the stuff like when I'm dying, I'll be thinking about.
You're not going to be thinking about
Which
like, oh, my
hopefully isn't
heart,
like
my
that.
heart really hurts
Yeah,
right now. I can't breathe. My kidney.
I
can't
wish
breathe.
they had a better colorist.
Oh, the inks were great.
Surrounded by nurses and no loved ones.
Great, great inks. I wish I had kids.
They were good sports, though. They were
Yeah.
good sports.
Good sports.
I had
Always took the drafts.
I had a very real moment like that though when I had like some sort of painful area near my heart, so I was like, I'll go to the hospital, and I went, and they just shoved me in on a thing, and you start to
An
realize
MRI.
that you're by yourself.
An MRI.
No, it was in like a corral of beds, and there's like piss on the ground and people yelling and screaming on the phones.
Okay,
and
which part of Ohio is it?
this is
New
Brooklyn.
York. Yeah, I would imagine that sounds more like New York.
No,
Yeah.
Cassavetes,
not
Maimonides.
Maimonides. Yes, it has the same last three letters.
Imagine
It has the same three letters.
Imagine there was a hospital named
John
after
Cassavetes Hospital, huh?
as opposed to Moses Maimonides.
I didn't know that he had a couple of
great
hospitals.
Jewish
I went to
doctor.
Cassavetes, man.
The hospital from Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was all a hallucination after that. But go ahead.
Point being, no, I
Piss
was
on the floor.
I was single, and it was just like, this is where I am. There's no one here that
Yeah.
knows I'm here. I could die, and nobody would even know the difference. And it was like that was a very pivotal point. I don't know why this is not like an in-depth interview on me.
What was
I don't
wrong
mean
with
to
you?
steal
What
the
was
thing,
wrong
but
with you?
I ended up being there for 8 hours, and it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I had to work at 6 a.m., and I said, I have to go. And so they said, medically, we cannot let you go. We don't know what it is. It's near the heart. Like, we can't. And I was like, if you're not going to service me, is
Sorry,
lack of
sir.
a better
Yeah.
word. Yeah. So I signed the thing that said if I died when I walked out the door.
You signed a waiver.
Yes.
You signed
Yeah.
a heart waiver.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know, that sparked my memory when you were saying like being, because that I don't know. Now I'm very happily, I have a girlfriend that's amazing, and Danny pushed to
I would not hang out with him in an
Sherpa.
emergency room, by the way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't
It's
like
funny,
I
just
don't like
go
going to
into
the hospital
voicemail.
anyway.
No.
No, I'll drive him there, and I'll sit in my car
I'll drive
outside.
him there.
And he can text me when he's going in for surgery.
Right.
I
And
am.
if he doesn't text me after a day and a half, I'll assume he's dead, and I'll go home.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's fair.
On to the next one.
Yeah, I left to go get gas. Did you come outside while I was gone?
When that happens, we'll have at least 3 months of this podcast room before enough
Oh, we'll put some in the
bureaucratic
can.
nonsense comes out before like, oh, he's not paying rent.
Yeah.
We got to kick him out. So real good rates on Seltzer King's.
Weird that you have this figured out already.
We've
You've
already
got thinking about it.
we started a Seltzer King endowment
Oh,
for you.
great.
You had a go bag, but he has like an escape plan.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I have a go bag I can't carry because it's too heavy, and he
Right.
has a very valid escape plan.
Maybe you could just get roller skates. Get roller skates.
But here's
for
the
it.
thing, Mike. There's bars on the windows in
Yeah.
here, and
yeah.
so if there's a fire in the room and we can't get out that door, we're done. So
Yeah.
just I
Okay.
I didn't. We usually
should
don't
state
tell.
that in
We
the
usually don't tell guests this,
Right.
but I feel like we're in a real like open space
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
pretty
so
intimate.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
intimate.
yeah.
I
we
feel
just
pretty
wanted to let
comfortable.
you know. I
Yeah.
mean, there's probably nothing on the other side of that, and you can get to that door pretty quick.
Sure.
But I do think about the ways that I could escape from this room.
Oh,
Right.
constantly.
In general. And
Yeah.
While we're recording, that's all I think about.
I do feel if we all died together, I would get one mention. Like the article would really focus on you guys, and I feel like I'd be mad
I
about
don't
that.
know.
I feel like I'd be mad. No, but I'd
But
be
that's
like,
just
there's
circumstance,
Like,
though.
I would
That's just
definitely be,
coincidence.
like
No.
the other person OJ murdered. Like I would definitely. just be
No,
like,
you got so many writing credits. What are you talking
you
about?
get one more mention than Jeremy.
yeah. If it
would
makes you
just
feel
be
any better,
we died in
you'd still get
somebody's
more mention than
somebody's
Jack
studio that happens to be also his
an
apartment.
anonymous benefactor.
And sweet Muppet somehow miraculously
Oh,
survived.
Muppet should survive.
I made serious plans when I checked myself into the emergency room. I parked for alternate side of the street parking. I did it. I drove myself to the emergency room. I parked correctly. I was operated on the next morning.
Oh wow.
I thought my appendix was going to burst.
Oh.
And I was like, "Listen, I need this." And they made me wait all fucking night.
Probably because all you said was, "I need this."
Oh no, I used words.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
My appendix,
I need this.
man.
I
My
wasn't
appendix
like
is gonna burst,
I wasn't
man.
like tossing a knife from hand to hand. I was like,
Give me a taste.
I think I have an appendicitis.
Oh,
Please operate on me. And
I've
I
never
don't
had
know
that.
how you could.
good, dude.
It's a crazy.
I'm sure it would happen at some point.
Don't eat ice cream. That's what
Is that
happened to me.
really what
not-
causes it?
That's what happened to me.
I don't think that's
That's not
true.
the cause.
That's what happened to me.
What?
I've
They
never told
medically-
anybody
Like, was
this.
it 1-to-1? Like you ate ice cream, then it happened, or you just were in a phase of eating a lot of ice cream?
I've never told anybody this, but I ate a lot of ice cream the day before.
What? I don't understand what that has to do with your appendix.
Why?
Because, like,
Was it your birthday?
I don't know. It
He was having
warm.
a good day.
Yeah, it was warm. It was like May. It
That
was
sounds
like,
nice, though.
Yeah, it
Ooh,
was
it's
like-
warm out. I better eat 10 gallons of ice cream today.
It was right after your birth. It was right after your wedding.
Well,
It was immediately after your wedding, dude. You got
you
married
didn't
on
get
Cinco.
cake.
You got
Yeah.
married on Cinco de Mayo. No, I had plenty of cake.
I got
didn't have- I
married
didn't
on
get any.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and I got sick like May 7th or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Oh, well, it could have been the food that I served.
Or no, I mean that could have been that too. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Well,
you?
Yeah,
all I do
You
know.
plenty.
I know. No, I'm not fishing. Go on. Though.
But just seriously, you'd still get mentioned before Jeremy.
Yeah. At very least, take that to your, to your grave.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, you'll have the comic translated in other languages.
comic-
Like we haven't
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
We haven't. I
I'm
mean,
sure
we've been dubbed into other
Yeah,
languages.
you've been dubbed in other languages.
but we haven't written anything translated into other. Oh, did you do that illuminated manuscript?
No, I used to write for an online magazine for
Yeah.
music, so I would review gear, and that got into Spanish. So,
Oh, that's great. See,
Oh, great. So
I have, in fact,
you
but
have been translated.
what is Spanish for timpani?
timpani?
I thought so.
wow.
What does timpani mean?
The kettle drums.
Oh, great. That's a
Hey,
timpani?
you know what? I found
That's a
out
one. There's one. It's a
was
tympanum.
Bernie
Singular.
Sanders got. He had his town hall meeting in the same place that I got hitched.
Oh, that's
In
great.
the same room.
Get the heck out.
Not,
It was
not
at
the
Steel-
upstairs.
it was at
at
Steel
Steel
Stacks?
Stacks. Yeah,
That's so
Where
weird.
is that?
it's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I used to.
So
I
his
used to
whole
date someone
back-
who went to college there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At Lehigh?
Moravian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, very religious.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Dude,
that's not even Mennonite. That's something else.
Yeah,
It's Moravian.
It's like a regular-ish college, but it's run by religious people. It's like not quite all the way fully religious.
I
but
think
yeah.
we should make an old sounding order
Sure.
because like there's some really good ones. There's the Franciscans and the Jesuits and the Benedictines and the Trappist monks and this type of stuff. So I think we should make the Seltzern.
Seltzerian?
Wow, we're going back to seltzer.
I think that we should just make a new old sounding
Okay.
order of monks of whatever that brew beer. Maybe we could sell not cheap cigarettes to kids because that's out these days. Maybe we could
Cheap vape pens.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cheap
give
vape
me the
pens and
jewels.
kids.
Yeah.
Nuke the jewels. Isn't that'll be our hip hop album?
That's your
Nuke the
Twitch-
Jewels?
That's your Twitch username.
That-
Nuke the Jewels.
Nuke
That's
the
the,
Jewels.
your Run the Jewels cover band
Yeah.
in a bluegrass style.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
We're all gonna die
saying, it's
It's not a
here.
bad idea.
We're all gonna die here. I'm glad to be with someone slightly less famous than me when I die.
I don't
Danny?
know if that's a Run the Jewels song.
Or me.
Yeah,
I'm
who are
saying
you
you have to be here in order for Mike to feel comfortable dying
yes.
with us in the studio.
See ya.
You just lock the door.
Yeah.
But not only that,
Bars.
he squirts lighter fluid under the door.
Come on, Mop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm coming through to your emotional arson.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
I would never get up and leave. Although that has happened sometimes when Danny and I used to.
Jimmy's
produce
wife
sketch
used
comedy.
to throw her ashtray on her own carpet. I never understood that.
I don't know what that is. You say all these references. I have no idea what was that.
Why would when the FBI guys come over and start going through their stuff?
He's back to Goodfellas.
Good for
You
Never
have
left.
to keep
I never left.
Mike.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that
Right.
you have to keep tabs on what Morona says.
You don't have to.
Right.
because
You
it'll
really-
at any given moment he'll call back to something,
Right.
but
Or
It's-
call
But it'll be a
forward.
or
movie?
call forward
Yeah.
that's something you can be
Okay.
like, I don't understand, and in
Right.
5 minutes you're gonna be like, oh, I ain't gonna understand.
Yeah, it'll.
It just got 2
you'll get
degrees warmer in here.
The HVAC's not hooked up.
I've
yet.
been
Just give me a chance.
I've been keeping an eye on the
Yeah.
temperature.
I was just only saying the Bernie Sanders thing
Yeah.
because I hope that he didn't eat the same food that maybe Mike ate that gave him an appendicitis.
Oh, right.
I think
because
he
we
had-
don't want him to get an appendicitis because he's old.
No.
he
He
donated
very
his
bad one.
he donated his appendix in '79 right before he got married to relief.
Just to relieve.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need it,
Like
right?
if
Isn't
you
the
think about-
appendix the
you're
one you
fine.
don't need?
You're fine
Or
without it.
If
your
you-
spleen you need, but your appendix you don't.
think
like
that's
if you
correct.
think of like all the candidates or whatever, you're kind of like, I don't know what they stand for. I don't know what they stand for. I think Bernie, you pretty much know where he stands. And,
Wait, did Bernie do the Fox News thing there?
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It-
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Interesting.
and then he went straight to the casino and started gambling.
or to the haunted
He did.
hotel.
You should see how many
He went to the
Instagram
escape room.
stories and Snapchats there were of Bernie at the casino.
Sands at the Sands.
He's at the Sands.
Bernie at the Sands was actually my favorite double record. It's so good. And Quincy Jones orchestrates is just so all the arrangements are just fucking
But
snake
Ber-
eyes. I need some snake eyes.
Bernie Sanders has actually had an album. Like, and I'm not doing a bit. Like,
of
there's
what?
an album from like the 80s of him like reading inspirational things with
It's
music
great.
behind it.
That's great.
It's a real thing. It's not. I'm not making this up. Like, it's
everybody's just like, oh, where'd he get all this money? Royalties, bitch.
But I think it was that time when you could be a celebrity and you could almost like just read poetry, and people would be like, "Yeah, that's a thing I'll
that's
buy."
cool. Yeah. Why not?
I
Louis Farrakhan did calypso music for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
that's how he got his start, but that was very frustrating. So he became Bowtie Jim after that. He never went back.
I'm having a tough time of finding Bernie Sanders' album.
It's
My phone is so far away.
Yeah,
you're lucky.
Believe
No,
you.
you're lucky in that
are
way.
Are you doubting?
Oh, freedom.
I
Oh, freedom.
You come across a lot of weird stuff.
I
if
come
you
across
go,
weird stuff.
I
like
got
if you go to
this.
thrift shops, you
Yeah.
look for records or
Yeah.
whatever, and I mean, good for him. Good for him.
This one says Mayor Bernie Sanders sings.
That might be it. I think that's it.
Bernie Sanders.
And I hope it's not like some shitty impression.
Governor, you say you want a bigger
Well,
military,
that's
you
not it.
want a bigger Navy.
Oh, boy.
You
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
want
here
to.
we go.
Producing. He's.
I have a dog on my lap, and here we go.
You don't play more than 8 seconds, or we have to pay.
No, it's okay. I'm a musician.
Ah,
This is
freedom.
for.
Commentary.
Yeah, this is what do you call it when you don't have to?
Fair use.
Yeah, fair use.
That's not him.
I was gonna say he used to have a much better voice.
Resilient, alive,
It's like an indie band with.
like a torch from one person
What's great is he said, "I don't want my own microphone. I want to be back here with the people. I don't need individual accolades. I just want to be
human spirit.
among the great human spirit."
But don't you like what if, it'd be great if he was like, "I'm going the distance. I'm going the speed."
Yes.
It's unlike any. What the video looks like. If you go to YouTube site search, Mayor Bernie Sanders sings "Oh Freedom," you will see a very older.
You will also
Bernie
enjoy-
Sanders.
He's not really singing
In
though.
front of
He's
a
mostly
microphone.
Speaking.
Yeah, he's mostly
It's
speaking
not,
inspirational phrases.
It would be cool though if he was singing.
Yeah.
Where's my snare?
or more of like Henry Rollins type approach.
Oh yeah.
Who can say which is better, really?
Just only you have to
I mean,
experience them. And then figure them out.
Rollins was never elected senator of anything, but I don't think he's ever run.
I think Bernie Sanders would lose all his credibility if he sang the song "Liar."
Because I'm a liar.
I'm a liar.
I lie.
I lie.
I think that's so funny though. That is so.
We all.
But then he would go back up if he sang Black Flag Six Pack.
or TV party.
TV Party would be good too. Yeah.
Do you guys remember in the early, obviously it'd be early 90s, when Two Live Crew was big, there was a parody group called Two Live Jews?
Yes.
That did like a track-by-track parody of Two Live Crew.
Oh, I thought they were just a Z100 creation. They were all over?
I think they were, but I
Awesome.
think they it became an album. Because I think that was also when radio shows would have like a bit, but they'd sell it to other radio stations.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've
Oh, yeah,
seen that
this wasn't-
album in
wasn't
some
the,
thrift store
What the hell was
records.
the name? The Z100, the Leprechaun.
Oh,
Heck was his name?
The Leprechaun.
You know,
I know who you're
that's-
talking
You
about,
know
I
what I'm
forget.
talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just, I feel like he was on other stations. You'd hear him around the country.
Are you talking about?
Mr. Leonard.
All right.
Was
that his name? Was
I forget.
Mr. Leonard,
It's
I
been
think.
so long.
Here's what I came up with on my Google search. Because I'm a liar. Yeah, I'm a liar. I'll rip your mind up. I'll burn your soul. I'll turn you into me.
I've never heard you do an accent like
I'll
this.
turn you into me. Because I'm a liar. I'm a liar. A liar. A liar. There you go. There you go.
I
That's not bad. That wasn't bad. That was
I
good.
can see an angle.
Yeah,
I can
horrible.
see an angle
Yeah.
here.
Just different Rollins band songs for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he could
see that.
also do some Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole. Such an asshole.
Some, my neighbor's dog has a 4-inch clit.
We're taking it,
Is that
we're taking
Wesley
it right
Willis?
to,
No,
we're
that's
taking
Adam Sandler.
that's Adam
That's not-
Sandler.
That's not-
Is that Wesley Willis? What was that?
that was Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he'll be hosting the something that you're familiar with.
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
The Saturday Night Live.
The Saturday Night Live.
The Saturday Night Live.
Right.
So
Like-
at the same time as things being topical,
Yeah.
do you sometimes you have to think about like this guy's been around for a long time or trying to bring it back and callbacks that are trying to resonate with something that is still good now.
Yeah, and it's also like a balance between, because one, you have to make the material so fast, so you don't always have time to make it as, good as you might necessarily want to. There's also the issue of like, you both want to reference things that people are familiar with so the audience is on board, but you also don't want to just hit the same well over and over and over again. Like, that's why, like,
Stop eating Tide Pods, people.
right. But there's like, you'll see like people who either write packets or people who do like Twitter jokes. Well, they'll still be making Tide Pod jokes. Like it's hard to both have a touchstone that audiences like, but also move quickly enough where you're not just like saying orange Cheeto.
Sure.
forever.
And and then
Right.
this goes
Yeah.
back to the funny animal life cycle
Yeah.
that you were talking about before, where I think there's this, and now it's like bitter right wing comedians who are saying
Yeah.
Tide Pods as saying, like they can't mention Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez without saying Tide Pods in the same sentence.
Right,
type of
exactly.
thing. So there was a time, whatever, like 2.5 years ago when it was funny, maybe, but Tide Pods have like really dropped like a stone.
Once the Gronk started getting in on the Tide Pod bits, I was over the Tide Pod bits.
Yeah. It's almost like as soon as a company embraces a meme about themselves, that's when it's over.
Right.
Can we
Like Domino's saying, "Hey, sorry guys, we suck, but we're trying better, so buy our stuff."
Like a
What a
boyfriend
great,
trying
like,
to get back with
that's
you.
like that's the greatest scam in all of advertising.
How-
To just
yeah.
belly up
Just
and be
shit
like,
on yourself
"Yeah, we're
over and over.
fucking terrible,
Oh,
but
man, yeah.
we're
Not
we're
anymore.
trying."
New leaf.
Right. And I do like Domino's, by the way.
Wow. Florida.
I-
It's a total Florida guy.
Yeah, I grew up in a Pizza Hut family, but I like Domino's.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Showing
like Pizza Hut for
versatility.
the for going there and having the buffet, so I could eat whatever kind of pizza I want.
I just associated Pizza Hut with softball games and team sports.
Ironically, I associated that when I think it might have even been right before your show, but it had a lot of Nickelodeon tie-in stuff. Like
Oh,
back
yeah.
when it was
Yeah,
doing
Pizza Hut totally did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The,
Oh, like
the original Nickelodeon magazine you could only get
Yeah.
if you went to Pizza Hut. That was like the one with Chevy Chase on it. That was
yeah.
like
And back when they were doing the
that
cartoon
came-
dinosaurs, that
Right.
like very 80s art
yes.
style.
Oh, totally. They
That's
were really
very
smart.
cool.
They
Yeah.
were really smart.
Yeah.
I just like the refills. I was a big
Oh, the
soda
refills
head.
are good.
I was a big soda head
Right.
back then.
They also had like a couple arcade machines, the one I had, so it was like a very good like child place. Like you had Nickelodeon stuff, you had like a Neo Geo arcade cabinet.
Oh,
It was
Neo
just very-
Geo.
It was just like very
Fancy.
nice. Fancy.
The Neo Geos are probably the first ones that were 50 cents, but they also
We're good.
they had like 4 different games on them, and
Yeah.
those games kicked ass.
50 cent.
50 cents,
I
man.
wasn't into that. That was
I was not into
even if it was 50 cents because it was 2 quarters.
Yeah.
But if it said 50 cents on the on the slot,
It
I was
says-
like, you bastards.
I think it's no longer a loss leader. It's kind of like it's maybe kids. I didn't play Samurai Showdown as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
I liked Samurai Showdown a lot, but I think I played it more when it was a quarter.
Yeah.
Do you game? Do you?
Oh, I'm a
yeah.
huge video game fan.
Mike
I think
actually
if he
admitted.
writes for Nintendo, he
Yeah.
probably is a gamer, I would think. Unless
I don't
you
know
really
where
hate
he's at
your
in the
job.
story.
You're like someone who just does, I just write. I don't care what it's about. I don't hold any preference.
I
I'm
beat
just an
Danny's
artist.
ass in
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2 last night.
You did.
Who'd you play as?
A couple different characters. I
Ah.
was kind of random. I started as Guile,
Nice.
and then
I beat you as
E Honda,
I beat you as E Honda, not doing the same thing over and over. Also,
and
it
I
was
came
on,
back as Chun Li.
it was also on a
There you go, yeah.
on
and
an
I beat him as a
Xbox
Ken.
controller.
Oh, he beat me as Ken. I was Ken, and he was E Honda, and then I came back as Chun Li and beat him. But Ken is usually my go-to.
I love Ken. I love Street Fighter. Street Fighter. I have a ton of mini arcade cabinets on my desk at work because I don't have a family, and there's this like company called New Wave Toys that's been releasing like 12-inch tall, fully functional arcade cabinets. They have like a
Awesome.
Centipede one. They have another
that is
one,
so cool.
and they have a Street Fighter 2 one coming out. And
Get outta here.
I'm so psyched for that, just because as a kid, like you'd go to the laundromat and there'd be like a Street Fighter machine, and you'd play. Like to me, that's like the ideal childhood cabinet.
Oh,
That's a good point.
100%
Yeah,
that's a very
agree
good
with
point.
you. I used to do karate next door to like a luncheonette that had Street Fighter 2 in the back, and that was like you'd go and you'd do karate,
Yeah.
and then you'd go and like
Do some
have, like,
visualization
a
exercises.
turn, just like a run around and see how many people you could get, and mostly it was the one kid who did the same.
Always.
E Honda, always, so he could just keep playing forever.
That fucking E Honda 1,000 hand slap
Yeah.
or 100 hand slap.
100 hand slap.
100 hand. I was giving him too much credit.
Well, he may
know.
have gotten.
It
like,
was
hooked up
only
with
16. It was only 16-bit. It could only be 100.
He might have talked to
couldn't show
Dulcie,
it.
gotten into Hinduism, and
Yep.
got a multi-armed deity.
Figured it out. He became.
I was an Atari guy because my dad was an Atari guy, so I didn't get Nintendo. So the only time I ever got to play Nintendo was like at a friend's house. And I was like the weird kid who was like, I play Atari. I was like, I'm fine. Pitfall, my game.
Right, sure.
All about it.
ColecoVision.
I wasn't. Yeah,
I played the Smurfs.
At least
I
I
played
was.
the Smurfs on ColecoVision.
See, in the whole thing of who's gonna be remembered when we all die in this fiery apartment
Yeah.
fire, you're ColecoVision, you're Atari, and we're Nintendo. Is that how?
Yeah, I
it works?
think
yeah,
so.
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
it?
probably. Yeah.
Why do you? Why are you one thing? You should be individuals. You're individuals.
No. Then that's the other thing. That's we get paired
We're
together.
a brand, yeah.
It would just
Yeah.
it would just say the
We're
two
like the Nest
Pete's or something.
The
It
Nest
wouldn't
Max
even
and the Nest
say-
Advantage. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be the Max. You be the Advantage. I'll be the
I
God, the Max sucked. The Max was great. The Advantage sucked.
I did bring that that Double Dragon.
Oh yeah,
little
the Tiger
game
Electronics game. Yeah.
on our tour to Florida, and my thought was that we'll do a little see who can get the highest score.
I had no patience for it.
Couldn't do.
They're
very
almost
hard to
unplayable.
watch.
Yeah. I have
Were you a
I
Double
have the
Dragon?
Bruce Lee one.
I-
and
I'm
Were you a
it's
Double Dragon
very
guy?
similar.
I'm a Double Dragon
in
guy,
the
yeah.
arcades.
I'm the NES. I didn't even know it was an arcade game until maybe like 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
yeah, just
because
arcades we had didn't have it.
It had 3 buttons. That was the thing. Like it was so weird for it to be translated to the NES
Yeah.
because there was no way to do the elbow.
Yeah.
The elbow, you had to you discovered like this other thing of. I mean, it forced you to come up with it, but it was like it wasn't as satisfying as it was doing the elbow in the.
Was that your move?
Well, doing the elbow in the arcade is a very deadly move, but doing the elbow in the arcade was just like pressing 2 of the buttons at once, one of which you didn't have, so you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He's Double Dragon guy.
Double Dragon.
Yeah,
They-
no,
they made
that
that
was a
big time.
game I enjoyed playing on my friend's NES.
What is still now besides these stand-up little guys? What is what stands a test of time for you as far as games
Do you mean like generally or like arcade wise?
that you could still pick it up?
Arcade wise, I really like Robotron 2084.
Yeah,
It's a super fun game.
You saw me going to town on that in Orlando.
Yeah.
I still love that. I love the old Mortal Kombat. I'm excited for Mortal Kombat
yeah.
11. My show's doing a road gig. We're doing a special in DC next week. And I saw that it was coming out the day we leave for the special, so I bought it both for PS4 and Switch. Just
In
so I
order to
could
take it on the road.
but also
Yeah.
not sacrifice fidelity when I play it at home.
Right.
And that's what happens when you have nothing. And when you make TV writer money.
Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. You got a pair of glasses
I got a
for
pair of
each
glasses. Yeah.
for each video game system that you're going to play it on.
Yeah, totally. I do.
That's really cool.
This is my beige Nintendo, my NES glasses.
Right.
I'm a fan of Katamari Damacy. I started
yes.
playing in the P, and then in the home consoles, I loved Tenchu Stealth Assassins, the ninja game, and I really want my son to play not killing games. He's he's 2.5, so I feel like if they came up with a Katamari game again, I would like to I didn't keep my old console, so
They re-released it on Switch.
Yeah, I would.
I know that's still a while off for your kid,
but I figure I'm going to try it. I'm going to give him some good gateway drugs like that. And not Minecraft, I don't think.
No, that won't be cool when he's ready for games, though.
That's good.
It'll be something that old dumb kids liked.
Did you play Zaxxon?
Yeah.
Zaxxon was so frustrating.
Yeah. I was much more of a fighter guy. I like Primal Rage,
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct I liked a lot.
I loved Killer Instinct.
So who was your favorite? Who was your favorite character in Killer Instinct?
I really liked Cinder just because he was cheap.
Oh god!
I'm as a kid especially.
He was so cheap.
He was just the cheapest fighter. You just keep throwing that flame body thing at him. Yep.
Oh, and you couldn't. You got caught at it once, and that was it.
You're gone.
Cinder. Yeah, it was a very aggressive game.
Orchid. Also, when it came out, I remember when it came out on Super Nintendo, I made my parents take me to the mall to buy it, and if you remember, it came with a CD called Killer Cuts or Killer Tracks, and it came with the soundtrack. And the game is obviously, when you play it now as an adult, you're like, this isn't that bad. But as a kid, the soundtrack, I made my parents put it in their car CD player. And
on the way home from the mall.
Home,
sure.
And the first song is Orchid stage song, and it has very. Now you would not consider them super sexual, but when you're a teen, it's basically this woman being touch me, feel me, and I'm with two very conservative parents.
It's a techno soundtrack.
It's a techno soundtrack. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You sound like Who lyrics.
That was kind
with techno beats. Touch me, feel me.
Yeah. So you can relate.
This is
right?
Tommy. Oh, I can relate.
Oh, okay.
Mike, let's sit down and talk about this. What do you know about the Who?
It's a remix. It's a remix.
Mom, I don't want to talk about
this.
Oh man, we'd have to have the talk sometime. I just never knew it was going to be today.
For Killer Instinct.
I still have Wolfenstein 3D on my phone.
It's such a great game.
That is hands down for me. That's the game that I'll go back to.
I deleted Shining Force 2 from my phone.
Oh yeah.
I was going through old drives looking for an old video, and I found Doom. I found the first. Did you guys ever play Doom?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. What is that?
Doom?
It's like Wolfenstein, but without Nazis, right?
Yeah, but we
it,
forgot.
Oh no, it was after. It's after Wolfenstein.
And in between that was Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
And Duke Nukem was also very.
I never.
I want to rip off your head and shit down your neck.
That had a movie that came out pretty early on, right?
Which did Doom or Duke Nukem?
Did Duke Nukem have a movie?
Oh yeah.
If did it?
Well, not back in the day, but I think more recently there was.
No,
maybe
you're talking
yeah.
about the Doom movie was with The Rock.
No, I'm saying Duke Nukem.
And Street Fighter had a movie. Raul Julia's dying of cancer.
That's right. That was...
And they put him, and the oral history. You read the oral history. It's amazing. Of the director talking about, we had no fucking idea what to do. Van Damme was always banging broads. He was always fucked up all the time. It was just such an interesting look into something like that. And then you think
M.
about
Bison was standing stoic and tall.
Yeah, but he has that great scene with Chun-Li in the movie. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Go
Where
ahead.
she's basically she gives this long
I know what you did to my
story
dad.
of how he came to their
Betrayed,
village, murdered her father, and how she's vowed revenge. And he basically, I forget the exact quote, but he's like, for you that was the most important day of your life, but for me it was Tuesday. And he's so Raul Julia's. Yeah. It's so great.
I'm seeing, I do see a little Gomez Adams in that. Unfortunately, I can't separate it. I totally because he's so morbid.
He's so morbid, and he's making a very fancy drink at the moment. He lands it so well in such a bad movie.
And it's almost like Kill Bill at the end when he's like this and that. And yeah. Oh, God.
It seems like they were going to make one last year, and they were trying to get The Rock. No. No, John Cena.
They're trying to get a Rock.
It was a big
Yeah. One of the
A rock
Both of
of a
those
man.
seem very like Rocky men. Yes.
And then the Assassin's Creed producer was going to produce it, but there's nothing further about it. So that means
There was a
it's
Double
dead.
Dragon movie
There
as
was.
well.
There was a
Oh, yeah.
Double Dragon movie.
Was there a Bad Dudes movie?
I don't know if there was a Bad Dude
That would
movie.
be a
There
good,
may have been.
That would be a good
Yeah.
arcade classic,
Yeah.
I think. The president has been kidnapped.
You a bad enough dude to save him.
I was just remembering Russian Attack. Which was a weird one.
Yeah.
He just like always ran out of grenades and
Yeah.
ammo.
Mm-hmm. I did dig out my. I was organizing, and I dug out all my PS1 games, and Paperboy was one of those,
Oh.
which is not the funnest game in the world.
You talk about the arcade classic.
You mean not the
Paperboy?
most fun game in the world?
The arcade classic Paperboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy
Where
to
you
lose.
just
There's so
throw
many
it.
fucking obstacles.
Yes,
Right.
very
It's also not, it's like a job.
I sucked. I sucked at that game
Yeah.
in the arcades. It was terrible.
Everyone
Like,
did.
The novelty was the handlebars, and
Yeah.
you hit everything.
Yeah.
It was like skate or die in like the number of like quarters wasted. I would say a lot of people.
I got for Christmas when I was 10 years old. I got the Atari Lynx, which is the first
Yeah.
ever
Wow.
color portable
That's
console.
That's a great
It's
portable
no
system.
TurboGrafx 16.
Very better than TurboGrafx. I don't care. They have more games, more shit going on with that.
But TurboGrafx 16, it has a problem with the wiring where if you buy one used now, it won't work that well. But Lynx will still work if you buy a used one usually.
Really, I mean,
This
my
is a
dad,
nerd
my
resource.
dad and
Thank
I,
you so much, Mike.
don't
Thank
know
you very
why
much.
I know that.
my dad and I still have
This is
them.
useful.
Yeah.
I have about like 30 or 40 games,
Do
and
you
the
guys play on-
Paperboy Atari
Yeah.
Lynx game was not as difficult as any other console for whatever reason.
Oh wow!
No, they probably wanted you to stick around.
They
enjoy
wanted
it.
you, yeah.
This is why you were an Atari
But
guy.
California Games was the
Yeah.
one that the
Oh,
console
man.
came with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was a hacky
Oh,
sack
yeah.
freak, man. I could
loved,
hacky sack with the best of them.
I loved TNC Surf Design on the Nintendo,
with the gorilla surfing.
Oh, right. The gorilla.
Yeah.
and you had to do like ollies, and you would always
Yeah.
hit a beach ball.
Well, I think it's in the in my closet. Let's go break it out. What do you think?
We're gonna go to a unprecedented second hour of Twitch streaming with Mike Drucker. We'd like to thank him for.
I just got to drive to Jersey real quick. Pick
gotta
up
get
those
my-
two Lynxes.
I need to get my
Lynx.
adapter.
I don't even know. Would you call them two Lynxes
And
or
my
is it two
Dreamcast.
Lynx?
Lynx Eye? I don't
Lynx
know.
Eye.
Lynx.
Links.
I don't know.
It would be Linksies.
Like
Lynxies.
Skeksis?
Yeah.
No, we're going down the hall.
Mike,
Mike, do you have
some
any plugs?
good
Yeah.
You must have good plugs.
You can.
Besides your dinosaur obsession.
Oh, thank you. I like dinosaurs as well.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Drucker, MikeEDrucker. If you want to follow me on Instagram for whatever reason, it's at Mike Drucker is dead. And that's it. Watch Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, and I'll probably tweet out anything else I work on.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Are you doing any more of those?
Shit Arcade?
There's Shit Arcade. Yeah. You have?
I do a
happening?
live
Dude,
show
that's so close to me. I'm in Greenpoint.
in June called Shit Arcade at Union Hall, and then I do a monthly show called The Obituary Show.
Yeah,
which if you
that's-
guys ever want to do it, you're free to do it. You just read your own obituary on stage.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
very.
I can.
Can
handle
we
it.
write for each other? Can
Totally,
we be a
I would
special one?
totally be down for that.
And can
we
it
write
be
for you and
that you're
Jeremy?
dying
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
room?
in this
Yeah.
room?
'Cause that would be great.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of specificity.
Yeah,
I'll text you
definitely.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
Of
Mike,
course.
for coming around.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You took us back to the 80s. You took us back to the swamp.
Yep.
Everything. A little bit of everything.
Little video game stuff.
Have you
Yeah.
have you ever
Soup
bought
to nuts, as they
vintage
say.
clothing at Beacon's Closet?
I have not. I've shopped with people I've dated who have, but I have not.
Just think about it next time.
Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com.
Danny and Mike with the N
Danny and Mike with the N spelled out. And also, you can find this. Oh, check us out on the Last Podcast Network. They got some great stuff going on
Yes.
there. LastPodcastNetwork.com. Also, what else? We have a little web store. Check that out. ShopDannyMike.com. And you can find this guy at DTamborelli, at Danny Tamborelli on the Instagram, at Michael C. Marona on the Twitter.
I won't be drooling.
I am at Remy Balin on most things. I think that kind of does it, Mike.
We did it, yeah.
Good God.
So cool.
That was so
Thank you.
fun.
That was so
really,
fun. Thank you
thank you,
guys.
Thanks for coming through.
Really appreciate it.
Don't wake up my
Bye.
Bye. The Adventures of Danny and Mike stars Danny Tamborelli and Michael C. Marona. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balin. This podcast is part of the Last Podcast Network, which can be found at